Good afternoon, folks. My name is Alvarez Bartholomew, and I am so excited to be here with you today as Director of Statewide Training for Florida Legal Services to talk about cultural competency for Haitian survivors. Today is May 1st, and this marks the beginning of Haitian Heritage Month. And I'm so happy and also distressed to say, I think this might be the first training that we've had as part of the statewide training initiative that focuses on Haitian clients, Haitian services. And I say that to say, moving forward throughout the statewide training initiative, I'm going to make it a personal goal to continue this conversation annually and throughout the year because it really is a topic that deserves attention, which is why we are here today. So, in honor of Haitian Heritage Month, we're here to talk about cultural competency. And of course, I always go through the housekeeping announcements. Let me get the boring stuff out of the way and tell you this is being recorded, and a copy of the recording will be sent to all of you who are here and registered here today. So don't worry if you missed something or you have to hop off, you will receive a copy of that recording. Second piece of housekeeping announcements, questions and answers. Please drop your questions into the chat or the Q&A. Our goal is to answer them as we go through the presentation today. But of course, if we don't get it in live time, we'll have some time for question and answers towards the end. So don't be shy. It is a topic that is not discussed enough, so you might have questions, and here are the people to answer those questions. Third piece of housekeeping announcements, CLE credit. I always say this, you might be here to learn about the subject, you might be here just for CLE credit, or maybe you're here for both. What I can tell you is that this is approved through the Florida Bar for CLE credit. I will announce that CLE code in the chat, I'm sorry, out loud, and I will also put it in the chat, and it will also be included with that recording in that email that you receive, so don't worry. One way or another, you're going to get that CLE code. But of course, if you missed that email or have any questions or just want to get information, I'm going to drop my email into the chat. That way you can message me. I understand sometimes things go into spam or sometimes we don't, miss something. So don't worry, I'm never bothered. Happy to help you with anything you need. Like I said, I'm going to drop my email into the chat. So I think that's enough for the boring housekeeping stuff. I'm really excited. I think I said this last week when I had a fair housing training. I'm not only excited about the subject matter that we have here today, but I have the extreme pleasure of sharing this platform with two of my Florida Legal Services colleagues. And I can't tell you how impressed I am by the work that they do every single day in ensuring access and enhancing justice for Haitian survivors. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Anne Piervil, who joined Florida Legal Services as an Equal Justice Works Fellow sponsored by the Florida Bar, and now is a member of the Survivor Advocacy team. Her work focuses on improving the lives of the local Haitian community and expanding the legal resources available to them and access to justice to the Haitian community across Florida. Anne received her JD from Mississippi College School of Law and spent her academic career advocating for Haitian immigrants and vulnerable populations. Also with us, we have Daphnie Guillaume. Daphnie is an attorney with over 10 years of experience in public interest law. Before joining Florida Legal Services, she previously worked as an attorney in the domestic violence and housing prevention unit at Community Legal Services of Mid-Florida and at Legal Aid Service of Collier County, representing domestic violence survivors experiencing family law issues. She received her JD from the University of Florida Levin College of Law, is a member of the Florida Bar and the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Florida, and served on the Board of Directors for Haiti Cherie. And with that being said, I am going to turn my camera off because everyone knows you're not here to talk to me. I will also mention that our speakers are working off of Chromebooks and the internet connectivity can sometimes be a little wonky. So they also may turn off their cameras throughout the presentation in order to ensure that you can get all the information that you need. Anne and Daphne, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for putting this together. Thank you for making sure this is a part of our training conversation. I'm honored to be here with you, and the floor is yours. And I'm going to unmute you, Daphne. Let me unmute you. There
Thank
you
you. I was
go.
saying thank you so much, Alexis. And I'm so happy that I'm able to do this presentation today. My name is Daphne Guillaume. I work under the Enhancing Access Grant, which allows me to provide legal advice and assistance to Haitian crime victims in the entire state of Florida.
Hello, I am Ann Piervil. I'm the project attorney for the Enhancing Access for Haitian Survivors project here for Florida Legal Services. Thank you all again for joining us and learning what we have to share today. As Alexis mentioned, I will turn off my camera, but feel free to put any questions or comments in the chat. So, the Enhancing Access to Haitian Survivors Project is a project under our survivor advocacy team here at Florida Legal Services. We're a statewide legal aid here in Florida. This project allows us to provide free legal services to Haitian individuals that are victims of crime. To be eligible for our services, the individual needs to reside in the state of Florida, be of Haitian ancestry, and identify as a crime victim. The crime could have occurred in the United States or their home country, and it does not need to be reported to law enforcement. And it doesn't need to be a crime of physical violence. It can be emotional or verbal abuse or financial abuse. With this project, we're able to help our clients with family law issues like domestic violence, injunctions for protections. We're able to help them with their housing and immigration issues as well. We also man the statewide DV hotline here at Florida Legal Services. And under this project, we have our anti human trafficking project as well. And all our services are free.
I'm going to review with you guys some of the learning objectives for today. We're going to examine ways to provide culturally relevant and competent services to Haitian survivors. We want to deepen your awareness of Haitian survivors, including their customs, traditions, language, and experiences they may have as a survivor. We want to deepen your cultural and linguistic awareness of immigrant survivors, build skills to provide trauma-informed services at your organization, and examine the critical need for language awareness for survivors. We hope to be able to cover all of these things today during this presentation.
So, what is cultural competency? Cultural competency embraces the idea of providing equal access and non discriminatory practices when you're providing services to individuals. For legal professionals, this is extremely important to be culturally competent because it allows us the ability to not only adapt to our clients, but to be able to provide them services in a manner that they understand.
As legal aid attorneys, it's crucial that that we work as providers in affirming cultural competency. Um, Affirming cultural competency as legal aid providers is crucial, um, and we can do so by educating ourselves on a culture's customs and values, their languages. This knowledge really enables us to understand and respect diverse perspective. It's also important to eliminate our own biases through cultural competency. When we can identify and challenge our own biases, by doing so, we can ensure fair and impartial treatment of our clients, irrespective of cultural backgrounds. It's also important to enhancing diversity. As attorneys, as legal aid attorneys, we play a significant role in enhancing diversity within the legal profession and system. So by valuing and understanding diverse perspectives, we can create a more inclusive environment that attracts clients from various backgrounds. it's also important to affirm a client's experience. Cultural competency allows attorneys to validate their clients' experiences, acknowledging really the unique challenges that they may face due to cultural factors. This validation is essential in building trust and strengthening the attorney-client relationship. Effective communication is paramount in legal representation, and cultural competency enables legal aid attorneys to communicate more effectively with clients from diverse backgrounds, fostering like that trust and rapport that's needed in a relationship with the client.
Florida
Also,
has
I'm sorry, Anne, I'm going to finish this last point, then you can move, then we can move forward, Anne. Also, instead of relying on stereotypes, culturally competent attorneys appreciate the individuality of each client. This approach allows them to tailor their services to really meet the specific needs and preferences of each client. So, really assuring a more personalized and effective legal experience.
So Florida has the highest number of Haitian individuals live in the United States. About 500,000 individuals of Haitian ancestry live in Florida, and over 40,000 people live in Central Florida. We provide this information just to give in context, one, that there is a huge population of Haitians living here in the state of Florida. And so they're here and they need our services, but also to bring attention to the idea that most Haitians are just centralized in South Florida, which is not true. We have a huge growing population of Haitian individuals here in Central Florida, where I'm located. We have Haitians living in rural areas like Immokalee and Southwest Florida, like Naples. We also have Haitians communities in North Florida. So it's important to ensure that we have organizations that understand how to work with these individuals, that have staff members that speak Haitian Creole, and that we're aware that there is a presence and a population here. South Florida does a good job of having Haitian-led organizations and different services prepared for the Haitian community. And it's definitely something that we want to have throughout the state of Florida to ensure Haitian communities are receiving the same amount of care and services.
Haitian immigrants in the U.S. and in Florida really face some unique challenges. We're going to discuss them. One of the foremost challenges is the language barrier. Haitians typically speak Haitian Creole, and them having this limited English proficiency hinders effective communication with law enforcement, legal service providers, and social service providers. So without adequate language support, Haitian clients may struggle to articulate their needs, understand their rights, or navigate through the legal system effectively. Anne and I are really fortunate to be able to speak Haitian Creole, and we're able to speak to our clients directly. But in your work, it's really imperative to assure when you're using an interpreter or someone translating documents that they speak Haitian Creole, because there's various versions of Creole. Lack of legal status. Many Haitian immigrants in the U.S. face that daunting challenge of lacking legal status, which instills fear of deportation and really often deters them from seeking help or accessing support services. The fear of being discovered and deported can lead to undocumented Haitian individuals enduring exploitation or abuse in silence, rather than seeking the assistance that they really need. Even when Anna and I are meeting with Haitian clients, they're not always willing to divulge everything to us, because there's this fear that if they tell us something, will they be deported? Or so we really have to explain to them what the attorney-client privilege is, explaining to them that we're not going to have them deported, that we're not going to call law enforcement, we're not going to call ICE. So just understanding that this fear of deportation is real, especially for those who are undocumented. There's also a trust of authorities, negative experience with law enforcement in Haiti, or even just Haitians in Haiti hearing about some of the disparities people of color face in the U.S. This has built a lack of trust, and and it's hindering their willingness to interact with agencies such as social service agencies, law enforcement, or even legal service agencies like ourselves. Building trust and fostering positive relationships between Haitian communities and law enforcement is essential. And it's gonna help individuals feel safe and comfortable in seeking the help that they really need. There's also limited awareness. There's a lack of awareness about available services and legal rights and and this is a rather significant challenge faced by Haitian communities in the U.S. And this really inhibits their ability to access assistance when facing legal or social challenges. Typically, these type of organizations, legal aid, domestic violence shelters, other rape crisis centers, these type of agencies don't exist in Haiti. So when Haitians come into the U.S., they relocate into the U.S., and they're part of their own communities. They usually don't come out of these communities. They're not aware of all these agencies that are available, all the assistance that's available, especially because these things don't exist in their home country. So a lot of the work that Anne and I do is really doing outreach, meeting with community leaders to assure that within these small circles that they're understanding these agencies exist. There's also a lack of culturally competent services and resources. The absence of support services tailored to Haitian cultural norms and value further exacerbates the vulnerability of survivors of abuse or exploitation within the Haitian community. Many times when clients come to us and they're looking for help, a lot of the information is translated into Spanish, or it was, of course, is in English, but a lot of it isn't translated into Haitian Creole. So these individuals don't think that services are open to them. So if they go to a DV shelter and there's information in Spanish, but it's not in Haitian Creole, they're automatically thinking, well, this must mean that they don't service Haitian speaking clients. And so Anna and I have made it kind of our mission to translate as many documents as possible, like injunction documents, our divorce questionnaire that we use, information about crime victim rights. So it's really important that in developing culturally competent services and resources that social service organization, legal aids make these documents, all this information available in Haitian Creole, so that these individuals can know that your services are available to them.
So when we talk about Haitian immigrants, it's important to share the cultural history and the history of Haiti, so you can better understand one, why individuals are fleeing, and the needs that they may have. And so during the history of Haiti, we've seen multiple coups, dictatorships, military rules, natural disasters. So Haiti was colonized by France. They won their independence in 1804 and became the first Black republic to win their independence. Soon after, they were occupied by the United States. Then we see a few years later, there was a period of dictatorship here. Elected president was overthrown. And then I'll say in 2010, when Haiti really came into the spotlight of a global community, there was a huge earthquake in Haiti. We saw multiple organizations and agencies doing fundraising to help rebuild the country and provide infrastructure. Now, a decade later, we're asking, where are the homes that these organizations promised? Where are the roles? Where did the money go? And so people are still affected by this earthquake, and they're still waiting for the help that they thought that was coming that did not come. Currently, we have seen extreme uptake in kidnappings and gang violence within the past decade. One, making it very difficult for individuals in the United States or other countries to visit Haiti for fear of kidnapping and gang violence. Right now, there is estimated 200 gangs operating in Haiti, and about half of them in Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti. Um, the president of Haiti was assassinated in 2021, and then days later there was an earthquake. And so we share this information to give you the context, and so you can understand why individuals are coming here. Because many times, if you're working with a Haitian immigrant, they might just say, "There's insecurity in my country. There is economic and issues, political issues," and you may not know what they're eligible for because they may not have the language to articulate what is going on. And so they might say insecurity, there's gang violence, and they might be eligible for services from your organization, or an immigrant benefit like asylum, but they can't explain the depths of what is going on. So it's important as legal providers for us to have context of what is happening to Haiti. And so when someone tells you it's gang violence, sometimes it is politically motivated and they don't have the evidence to support it or the words. And you can do further research for them. And so we see here everything that is happening at once in Haiti, from political issues, economic issues, and definitely natural disasters that continue to harm the country, forcing individuals to flee, which opened the doors for many other countries to have them, Haitians, invited and to allow them to enter, like Brazil and Chile, Colombia, and other South American countries. And now we're seeing Haitians either entering through the parole program, through the Biden administration, coming through the southern border, coming from those other southern countries and making their way through the southern border, or now individuals flying from Haiti to Nicaragua and then going through South America to the southern border. And these are many of the reasons that they are fleeing Haiti.
It's really important in becoming culturally competent that you understand cultural norms of an immigrant population. So we're going to discuss some general cultural norms within the Haitian culture. So Haitians typically have a family-centered society. Haitians really place a high emphasis on the close-knit family. Children are kept very, very close to home. There's this saying in Haitian Creole of l'église, la caille, l'école, which is, kids are to stay at church, home, or school. And not go anywhere outside of that. Also, Haitians often, when making decisions, particularly legal decisions and medical decisions, will have to speak to their family members and consult with family members, and also secrets or issues with your marriage, personal issues that you may have are really kept inside of the family, and you typically don't disclose those kinds of things to strangers. Haitians households tend to be multi-generational. So grandparents, great grandparents, live in a home or within the neighborhood, and typically an adult doesn't leave their household until they're married. Like in my family, I have like 45-year-old cousins that still live with their mom or in their home because they're unmarried, and it's really frowned upon to leave your household especially if you're an unmarried woman. There's a collective responsibility for the well-being of family members, where individuals often prioritize the needs of the family over their own personal desires. The younger generation is to care for the older generation. It really looks bad if you allow a family member, and especially an elder, to go to a nursing home, or let's say, like, for example, if after a surgery they have to go to rehab and you don't stay at the facility with them, or you do rehab at your own home. So there is a strong a strong need to really care for family members. Lots of times Haitian immigrants will work here and send a substantial part of their income back to their families in Haiti to care for. And the concept of family extends beyond immediate relatives and include distant relatives and even close family members, really fostering a sense of community and support. In Haiti, within like a household, there can be many distant relatives and close friends living in one household, because if they're less fortunate and they can't care for themselves, it's your duty to ensure that they're being cared for. The Haitians typically are very, very religious. The spiritual lands, it's a very diverse landscape with influences from Voodoo, Catholicism, and Protestantism. With my clients, even in making very small decisions, I often get pushed back and saying, no, I really need to consult, my ancestors, or I have to consult my priest, or I really need to pray about it first before I can come up to a decision. So that's really important to understand that this is a very religious society. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Daphne, I can.
Yes, I can too. I think we lost Daphne,
Okay.
but I heard all of that. That all went through.
Okay, well, I'll pick right up. There is a strong regard for elders and authority figures. Um, you want to respect your elders and respect people, and provide them that deference. There is a strong presence and announcement to respect your parents and just community leaders, and whatever they say goes. It's important to note, because of this cultural influence on individuals, many times they're going to assume what you say as a professional, their attorney, is correct and it's the best for them. And so it's important to, one, empower them to make their own decisions. And it's important for them to know that they know what's best for them and their families. But they might want to just say yes to whatever you think is correct. And they'll tell you, you decide. And you need to let them know, no, this is your choice. And you know what's best. And, we want to be client centered. Um, we love to say Haitians are storytellers. And so we have a rich oral history, and it's just tradition to pass on our stories. And so storytelling is really important to us in the way that we speak and we share our history and what's happening. Music and art is also very important in the Haitian community. And you'll see that when you're talking to clients and the way they might explain their home life and things that they're doing. Cultural identity. And so, as a community, many times Haitians identify as Haitian first. So, for example, I was born in the United States. I'm Haitian American. But if you ask me, I'll just say I'm Haitian. And many other people would say that as well, because we have those unique traditions and cultures, and we want to preserve them. There's that strong resistance to acculturation when Haitians do enter the United States, because they take great pride in their traditions, in the culture, and preserving those family values. We see in the Haitian community how class can play in one, how a person identifies themselves, and how a person is able to navigate systems in Haiti and the United States, and how someone is able to enter the United States, whether they are entering through a visa, or whether they are entering through the southern border, whether they're entering through the parole program where they have a financial supporter. Um, uh, Haiti is a Black nation, and so we don't see a lot of racism in the Haitian community. We see more of colorism due to the colonization of Haiti. Haiti also shares an island with the Dominican Republic, and so we see where colorism affects Haitians in that way as well, where Haitians that are living in the Dominican Republic or trying to enter face extreme racism due to colorism, and Haitians that are born in the Dominican Republic unable to receive nationality and citizenship there. We also see how that affects Haitians that are living in other South American countries because they can't blend in like a Spanish speaking immigrant because of their race. And so colorism is an issue that affect Haitians daily, especially in their home country. And then we see how racism affects Haitians throughout South America and when they enter the United States. The Haitian community is known as a triple minority status. One, their race, so they are a Black immigrant, and so that affects them. And then being an immigrant and foreigner, and then speaking a different language, a language that is not known by many communities and not a common language that people assume immigrants speak. And so we see how these three things are different barriers to the Haitian community when they're trying to access services and justice.
And Daphne, you're on mute if you're on this part.
I'm sorry, can you guys hear me now?
Yep, sounds
Yes.
perfect.
Okay, perfect. I want to apologize for earlier. My computer said I was not connected, so I apologize. I want to speak a little bit about communication so it could help you in communicating with your Haitian clients better. Most Haitians speak Haitian Creole. Only about 2 to 5% speak French. However, your clients may tell you that they do speak French, and that's because French is really associated with the higher class, and Haitian society can be classes. And so most Haitians who say they do speak French likely do not speak French. And it is really important to confirm that they actually speak fluent French. Also, there's some assumptions that Haitians speak Spanish because they say they do. But again, speaking a second language, maybe a third or second language is associated with being a higher class. And so you need to assure that although a client may understand some Spanish, may understand some French, that they really do speak these languages fluently and are able to understand you if you're speaking about legal terms in either French or Spanish. Haitians tend to avoid eye contact when speaking to people they perceive to be of higher authority, higher class. And that's because in Haitian culture, and showing someone that you perceive to be of higher class or higher class than you, it's really is you're not really, you should not make eye contact. I remember as a child, my mom would tell me all the time, don't look at me in the eye, or don't look at your teachers in the eye as a sign of respect. In our culture, of course, in American culture, it's rude if someone is speaking to you and you're purposely avoiding their eye contact. So just don't take it offensive and understand they're trying to show you the highest form of respect by not looking you in the eye. And Anne touched on this a little bit earlier about how Haitians are storytellers, so many times they may use hand gestures or speak loudly, and those things don't necessarily indicate anger, but culturally, this is how Haitians speak. And so again, please don't take that offensively. Conversations with Haitians tend to be direct. So if they want something, they're going to tell you exactly what it is that they want. And sometimes it may come out as a little blunt, but that's because they tend to be very direct, except when it comes to things like their personal lives, like sex or domestic violence or something that they believe is personal. And so it really takes in building that trust with the client for them to divulge these type of things to you. As an attorney that practices family law, it makes my work so difficult because many times I have to have like 6 or 7 meetings with the client, especially if it's a divorce, before I can even file, because it takes that long to even get them to be able to explain to me the things that I need to know to move forward in filing, or giving the appropriate advice. Individuals with less educations may smile or nod their heads when they're speaking to you, when they don't understand. So a lot of times when when I'm speaking to a Haitian client and I see that they're just smiling and saying yes, 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 that's an indicator to me that there may be a lack of comprehension. So I'll continue the meeting and I'll say, okay, it's your opportunity now to tell me, kind of give me a rehash of what we spoke about. And I kid you not, most of the time they'll try to stumble through it, but then they'll tell me, I have no clue what you just said. So then I, as the attorney, has to go back and say, okay, well, let me explain to you what I'm trying to say in a way that I think they can understand it. And that may be hard to do with an interpreter, but it is imperative to at least try. It's really important to know that Haitians that have less of a formal education tend to be very timid into themselves, and that's really because Haitian society is really it's a classist society, and so people with no formal education or lower education status are told to like be quiet. You're to be seen and not heard. You're not to look at other members of the society in the eye because you're of a lower class. So when speaking to an attorney or someone they perceive to be of a higher class, they're going to be shyer and timid. So it's really, as an attorney, it's my job to empower them and let them know it's okay to speak to me. You know, it's okay to tell me their own desires. I try to empower them. Please understand that touching and embracing is acceptable between friends and in informal situations. Anytime I have a Haitian client that's comfortable in hugging me, I know that, okay, I've established trust, because it's really hard to build that trust. And them comfortable in coming and coming to me with a hug lets me know that they trust me. And so it's so if you have a client that hugs you or that kisses you on the cheek, know that not only are they grateful, but it's really telling you that I'm comfortable, I trust you, because Haitian clients tend to call me Met Daphnie, which is Master Daphnie. It's normal because attorneys in Haiti are called Met, and I have to say it's okay. You don't have to call me Master. You can call me Daphne. This is the biggest thing for me because my Haitian clients tend to be late to my meetings. So if I have an appointment at noon, they probably won't show up to 2. And so this is because punctuality isn't something that's emphasized in Haitian culture. So it's important for them to be punctual for my meeting. So if you want them to be punctual, emphasize it. Say your meeting is at noon. If you're, you can give them a 15-minute grace period, but if they come at 12:20, cancel the appointment so that next time you can get them to come on time. They're not trying to be rude, but punctuality, being on time, is not seen as rude in Haiti as long as you show up. So just make sure that you emphasize, I need you here by this time, or I can't see you, and then keep that. Make sure you're strict on that. Understand that Haitian clients will tell you that they prefer to use family members or friends as their interpreter because there's a general mistrust for interpreters. Don't use family members and friends. It's never good. Always explain to them that, you know, we're using the language line or whatever service that you're using. Explain to them the confidentiality of that interpreter, and assure that you're using a Haitian Creole interpreter. Again, there's multiple Creoles languages, so you want to make sure it's Haitian Creole. When you're speaking to a woman, a Haitian woman, about anything involving sex, domestic violence, something they think is personal to them, please, please, please request a female interpreter. They're already going to have a hard time speaking to you if you're not a Haitian attorney. But if you add the extra barrier of it being a male, it's going to be nearly impossible to communicate with your client. It really is in Haitian culture to keep away female business from men. It is really not appropriate to discuss sex and divorce and relationship with a stranger, a man stranger.
And Daphne, before we move on from this topic of communication, a question came in that I think is relevant to this topic. In the Q&A, somebody asked, I've had a few Haitian clients mention that they were victims of witchcraft. What might they mean by this, and what sorts of questions can I ask them to better assess them for relief?
That's such a good question because it's something that both Anne and I go through with almost every Haitian client. And so, and the answer, what's unsettling sometimes to me is that when they get to us, they've already told us that no one believes them. No one believes this is true. So when I meet with the client that tells me, the reason my husband is doing this is because the reason my husband is being violent to me is because we're victims of a voodoo curse, and he really isn't trying to be violent to me. This is what's going on. Or I would love to file for child support, but I know that if I do this, my husband will or my boyfriend will put a curse upon me and I'm going to die. That happens all the time. And so what I do is I try to explain to them that while I believe them, everything that they're telling me, it's going to be difficult to be able to navigate this in the legal system. And so I ask questions of them. I try to, let's say in the injunction context, they say that their husband is not trying to be violent. They want protection, but they still love their husband. So, I try to focus on, okay, well, the judge is not going to understand the witchcraft portion. Tell me about what's going on what is he doing? I understand that he's under a demonic curse, but let's talk about the facts that the judge can understand. So I think bring them, acknowledging what they're saying, but also explaining to them it's going to be difficult to articulate, and then explaining to them, well, let's focus on the elements that a judge would understand, or the elements that the legal system can understand. That's what I try to do.
Got it. That's a great point. Not accepting the why on their end, not really focusing on the why, but really trying to gather the facts as you can. So that's awesome. And I'm so sorry to derail us, but another great question just came in, I think, on this topic. Somebody asked, I have a young 22-year-old Haitian client, and I'm an older white Jewish man for context. My client doesn't listen to me. He listens to loud music when we're in meetings, and he's very confrontational. The question is just, how do I get through to him?
That's a really, really, really good question. Because even as a Haitian woman, Haitian clients at times, I have to be able to build that trust, but also when they're doing something that I perceive as being disrespectful, to really address it. And Haitians tend to be very direct again, unless it comes to personal matters. So anytime I'm dealing with blatant disrespect, dishonesty, being like interrupting me while I'm speaking in court, I pull them aside. I schedule a meeting and I say, okay, this is how the legal system works in the US. This is how the attorney-client relationship works in the US. This is what you're doing that's wrong. And these are going to be the effects of this. I'm either going to have to withdraw from your case, or this is how the judge is going to perceive you. And just have a very direct conversation of explaining, because he may not perceive his actions as being rude, again, because some of these things don't even exist in Haiti. So you have to really explain to them how the legal system in the US works, based on what kind of interpretation you're having of their actions, and what the consequences are going to be if they don't remedy those issues. And if they don't remedy it, you have to end the attorney-client relationship. Because if you explain this to them, they should understand it. And if they don't, they just don't want to. It's a blatant disrespect of the relationship.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Daphne. No further questions at this time. There is one in the chat, but it's on a different subject. So I think I'll bring it up if that comes up or later on.
Okay.
Right. I'd also like to mention, talking about the witchcraft. Many times, the witchcraft and the voodoo sometimes is tied to mental health issues, and the person can't articulate because mental health again is a topic that's kind of taboo and that we don't talk about. So many times, a person may say, I'm exhibiting these things, but it's a curse, and so we may see it as anxiety or depression or another mental health issue. And so it's important to say, I understand. I want to acknowledge your belief of, this voodoo, this witchcraft. And I also want to refer you to a mental health specialist, to a therapist. I want to give you services and tools that can help you through this. And so I think that's important to note too, because we see voodoo manifesting in mental health issues many times in the community.
And one more thing, and I'm sorry, that makes me think about, and I know 1 o'clock is the end time, but if we have to go longer to get through the content, we have the time. But just for edification of people who find it hard to say they're willing to validate, right? It's hard for them to say, I believe that witchcraft is like a thing, right? Because I'm sure people feel that way. Can you just quickly give me a blurb as to why that's important? How is if an attorney is not going to validate what somebody in the Haitian community is feeling in regard to these, what's going to happen to that client relationship? What's going to happen to that advocacy?
Right. So one, it's being trauma informed and client focused. And so if we're being trauma informed and we are censoring the client, we have to censor their experience, their world views, and their traditions. And so you don't have to agree with it, but you can let them know, I understand that you feel that voodoo that is affecting you is important. And this is something that you want me to, for example, an injunction for protection. You want me to put this in this injunction. However, it's more important, and what we need to put is the abuse, the harm, the domestic violence, the sexual assault, and this battery that occurred. And so this may be important to you, but in this setting, and for the judge to understand what is happening to you, we need to use this language and these words, and let them know you are expert. I am an expert. I have experience in this, and so they are an expert of their life and what they're going through. However, in this legal setting, and as your attorney, I have to do X, Y, and Z, and so you have to know your role. And so my role as your legal provider is to provide you competent services. And so I cannot provide you competent legal services knowing that, writing a whole injunction about voodoo, is not going to be helpful for this injunction if you are truly in imminent danger and you need that protection. And so, outlining it that way. But it's important to acknowledge it because you're going to break that trust with them. And so are they going to tell you next time, when there is a instance of DV or something else that's going on? Because many times they're bringing up the voodoo, and so okay, they brought it up, but flesh it out. So what else is happening? So it could be, this voodoo that's happening, or you had a dream. Many people will tell you, I had a dream X, Y, and Z happened. Okay, and when you woke up, was there a physical manifestation? You had a dream that someone said it in this, and when you woke up, was your partner abusive, or did someone come and tell you ICE is going to get you? So to see if there's something more to it, but acknowledging their belief is important in any community and group.
No, and I just want to second and on that. Like, I've made the mistake of just not acknowledging a client and saying, I understand what you're saying, and that totally just broke the attorney-client relationship. The client didn't trust me. The client met with me, but later on, there are so many things that the client did not relate to me because during that initial meeting, when she told me that her daughter was actually a victim of witchcraft, because I was like, okay, well, I get it. And I kind of passed over it, not wanting to really flesh it out. She just was like, okay, well, not only don't you get it, you don't care, you think I'm crazy. When in reality, I just wasn't comfortable in speaking to her about that. But had I just fleshed it out a little bit more with her, it would have helped me be a better advocate for her.
Thank you so much.
All right. Strategies based on the cultural factors. So we told you, just different entities and institutions that are important in the Haitian community. And so, here we want to just highlight how it may affect your client. So we know the Haitian community is family centered. And so their families' opinions and decisions may influence their decision making and the way they're able to cope. And so you might need to, one, refer them to a mental health professional to help them. But many times they may want to bring in the family, in their intake or in the different things that they need from your office, because that might be a support to them and help them. And so that's just something to take into consideration. Their spiritual beliefs may shape the way, one, that they're understanding what's happening or why it's happening. And so culturally sensitive counseling that incorporates that spiritual, element, because that's not your job as their attorney, might be necessary and could be helpful to them. Because there is a lack of trust with law enforcement, it might be one hard for individuals to want to seek assistance, but because some of these respected leaders or individuals in their families may not want them to access services, it might be hard for them. One, for example, domestic violence or divorce, and because that's something that's frowned upon in the Haitian community, they may not want to, seek assistance in a divorce, but they need the divorce. And so building that trust, doing that outreach, and having a culturally competent, organization will be helpful with them when they're telling you, my pastor told me not to get a divorce, but X, Y, and Z is happening. I just want to know my options. Because they are storytellers, it might be healing for them to tell their story. And so providing a safe space for them to tell their story. So going back to allowing them to tell you about, the voodoo that may be happening or what happened in their home country and what happened, yesterday might be helpful to them and for you to get that complete picture of what is happening. So, strategies for overcoming all the barriers that we talked about. As a legal aid organization, it's just important to provide these culturally competent services, and to be an advocate for your clients. We provide victim rights advocacy right now at our organization, and we find it super helpful for our Haitian clients that are victims of crimes. That's another way that you can be an advocate for them. Many times they have advocates, but the advocate may not speak Haitian Creole, and this again is a system that they're not aware of and they don't have experience in. And so having you as an attorney being their advocate during the criminal proceeding is really helpful and beneficial and something that you can do. Ensuring language access is one of the number one things you can do as an organization. So having that language line and having materials in Haitian Creole prepared for them is super important. And so Daphne mentioned, if your organization doesn't have literature in Haitian Creole or even signage, how will Haitian immigrants know that you serve them if they see multiple languages but not their language? And so many times they feel excluded, even with organizations that are immigrant centered and have a lot of services for immigrants. They know they're not going to have someone that speaks Haitian Creole. And so that's really important. It's also equally important to hire someone that is Haitian and speaks Haitian Creole. It's important that they see someone that looks like them and that they can understand them. Many times when I meet my clients, I am the first person that has done the intake or provided them the legal advice in Haitian Creole. And so even though I can't take the case or they're not eligible for our services, they're just so grateful that I'm Haitian. They're so grateful that they were able to have a conversation with someone that not only spoke their language, but understood their struggle. Because I can say, yep, I understand. Yep, I know how it is. And so it's important important to hire Haitian individuals in your organization if you are trying to, one, do that outreach to the community and be culturally competent for them. Providing trauma-informed support is super important as well. We like to tell organizations to create a referral matrix. And in that referral matrix, you want to have organizations and you want to list their services, list if they have services in Haitian Creole. And so when you do receive a Haitian client, you're able to say, I'm referring you to this organization and they provide these services. And I know they have someone that speaks Haitian Creole, or they don't have someone that speaks Haitian Creole, but I've met with them. They have a language line and they've worked with Haitians and they're going to understand, what you need, blase, blase. And even that is just reaffirming their experiences and understanding that they need the services and they want to know. The first question my client's going to ask me when I do a referral is, do they have someone that speaks Haitian Creole? That's the first question they always say. And so if I already have that referral matrix, I can take a look. Yes, I know they have someone that speaks Haitian Creole. I'm not sure if you're going to be assigned to that person, but yes, someone's going to be able to speak with you. Doing outreach in the community, so very important. How will they know about your organization, your services, if you're not in the community doing that outreach, talking about your services, and then offering know your rights, providing that education. As we've told you, many of the things that we're talking about in the systems that we have here, they simply just don't exist in Haiti. And so it's so important to do that, know your rights, provide that education to the community. And lastly, community partnerships. So forming partnerships with Haitian-led organizations and institutions, being able to engage with their leaders and their advocates, and most importantly, hosting events with them and attending their events. Many times I tell organizations that you have to have a give and take relationship with community organizations. And so you need to come to them with something they need, and then you can add on whatever services or whatever you want to share with them. And so, for example, if I wanting to do know your rights about domestic violence and about my organization, but right now Haitians want to know about the parole program. They want to know why it's taking over a year for them to get a response and what they can do to get their families to the United States. Me sending an email saying, hey, I would love to meet and host something about domestic violence, it's not important to them. It's not meeting their current need. Me saying, hey, I would love to do a know your rights and explain the parole program and answer any questions that I can with you, they're going to say yes. And then at the end, I can do 10 minutes about domestic violence. I can explain what I do. I can share resources with them. And so that's super important and beneficial. And then attending events. Many times organizations tell us that they do not see organizations attending their events, but they're always asking them to come to their events. And so it's important that they see the support and that they don't just feel like you're coming to them when, one, you need something or you need a body, and they want to know that you're engaged with them and that you care about their needs throughout the whole year, not just May because it's Haitian Heritage Month, but in July and October as well. And so these are just some strategies that you guys can use when you're working with the Haitian community. Alexis, I know we are almost at the hour. We are at the end of our presentation. So I don't know if you want us to keep going, we definitely can wrap up.
To me personally, if you and Daphne have the time, I'd love you to continue and finish the presentation as you had anticipated. I know folks will stay on, the recording will continue if anyone has to drop off, but I'm loving this training. If you have the bandwidth, no rush. I'd love to hear more from you both.
Of course.
Awesome.
Hey.
So keep going. No worries. The recording will be there. Anyone that has to hop off, you'll receive the recording. So let's keep moving.
We're going to review some hypotheticals and we're going to implement some of the strategies Anne just mentioned. So let's talk about Pierre first. Pierre entered the United States through the southern border and found employment at a restaurant. He endured harsh working conditions, withheld wages, and threats of violence. We're going to discuss some culturally specific approaches to providing Pierre with assistance. We know that he speaks Haitian Creole, so we must assure that we give him legal information. Let's say you have some documents, some information about trafficking or labor law, that it's in English. Getting that translated into Haitian Creole is going to be important. Assuring that when you're providing legal advice, that although Pierre may say that he's lived in South America and speaks Spanish, that you're still letting him know that you're able to provide interpretation into Haitian Creole, and assuring that the advice that you're providing, again, when you're reaching out to the language line, is in Haitian Creole. It's also really going to be important in a circumstance like this to engage with his community, because many times if he's a victim of trafficking in a restaurant, there may be other Haitians that are part of this trafficking scheme. So engaging with the Haitian community in that area, letting them know that this is what legal aid does. We help with injunctions, we do divorces, we do housing law, we do SSI. So introducing yourself to that community is not only going to help you foster a better relationship with Pierre, but it may help with uncovering other individuals that may need legal help. We're going to talk about Yuslin next. The Jane family in Haiti sent their daughter Yuslin to the U.S. for education and to live with relatives. She entered through the parole program. Yuslin was promised better opportunities, but ended up exploited by distant relatives. Yuslin worked long hours without pay, doing house chores. She was isolated and her passport was confiscated, and she couldn't communicate with others. This is a very, very common story for Haitian immigrants, where they may come into the U.S. to live with a family member, and instead of the family member allowing them to work or allowing them to pursue education, the family uses them for domestic labor, demanding that they work long hours, they care for the children, they cook all the food, isolating them from their family in Haiti, and isolating them from the outside world. Many times, a woman like Yuslin is not going to report to her family in Haiti that this is going on anyways, because they're living with a U.S. relative who in Haiti would be an authority figure. So she's not going to want to call her mom and say, hey, my aunt is abusing me, because one, her aunt is probably the one taking care of mom back in Haiti, and her mom has a high-end role in this family as a U.S. or as a person who either lives in the U.S. or is a U.S. citizen. So it's going to be difficult for her to even come to you and talk about this very, very personal matter. And so when offering her assistance, you have to really make sure to navigate this with extreme care. If at all possible, make sure to use a female interpreter, and really when discussing family matters, I'm always assured to not make it, to almost make it seem that, because she's gonna be very protective of her relative. So making her understand that this is wrong, this is a crime in the U.S., explaining her what the law is, because trafficking is not, although trafficking is a law in Haiti within the past decade, it's something that the culture still doesn't identify as a crime. So really explaining to her what the law is. If you have documents or something that she can read in Haitian Creole, that's really gonna help her. Explaining to her that, although she may love her family members, this is something that is exploitation, is really, really going to help. Go back to your referral matrix and see what organizations have a Haitian Creole advocates, or an organization that is culturally has cultural training in working with Haitian clients, because this is going to be someone that's going to be very afraid to report anything about their family member. So it's going to have to be taken really, really slowly so that you can build that trust. Also, when meeting with her, this is someone who typically is going to have low English proficiency. So assure that when, again, I emphasize this because I see this all the time, that when using an interpreter on language line, if you find one that you think it's a good interpretation, to notate their number or their names, that you can use that person, if at all, during all the calls. Using different interpreters is gonna be difficult. It's going to be difficult to continue building that trust for the client. So if you can, at all times, try to use the same interpreter in working with this particular type of client. Those are all the hypotheticals, but I do see a question, Alexis.
Yes, a couple of questions came in. I apologize. So
Before the questions,
yeah.
Before the questions, I just want to make a note that right now we're looking at these cultural specific approaches you can take, but there's many legal issues here. And so, in Pierre's situation, this may be labor trafficking, this may be wage theft, there may be other criminal issues there. And so, helping the client, flesh out those different issues. And Losleen's situation, she may be a minor and they haven't enrolled her in school. And so she's been working in this home all this time. She may have been married and she's not a minor, and this might be a VAWA situation. And so they might be coming to you with, one issue, and there might be other presenting issues here. And so definitely, fleshing out the different legal issues that you see there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I think on the next slide, you have some resources, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Because one of the questions is about resources. So after you go through those, I'll ask the question that came into the chat on that.
Okay. And so here we want to list some Haitian-led resources for you. Saint La Haitian Neighborhood Center is a Haitian community center here in South Florida. They provide an array of resources for the Haitian community, from parenting classes to mental health services. They assist individuals in applying for public benefits. They have computer classes, ESOL classes. They're kind of a one-stop shop here in Florida, and they're well known in the Haitian community, a great resource. Avancer Ensemble is another organization here in Florida that provide education about the Haitian community, and it's really a movement for young Haitian Americans to talk about their experiences in the culture, and building a power within the Haitian community. We have our volunteer bars, so the Haitian Lawyers Association. They are based out of South Florida, but we have attorneys throughout the state of Florida. If you need to do a referral, you can always look at their directory. They provide pro bono resources, and they host an array of know your rights and legal clinics. So they're always a good resource. One, if you need a pro bono attorney, and two, if you have questions about things happening like in Haiti. A lot of them were attorneys in Haiti, or they have connections to Haiti when you are looking, for example, documentation. IT Community Trust is a community foundation that works in Haiti. They have a great leadership. They go to Haiti once a month. They provide mental health services, and they do a lot of work in Haiti. We have the Family Action Network Movement, FUM, another community agencies in Haiti. They're actually in Little Haiti, and so they specifically serve low-income families. They have courses, the parenting courses. They do know your rights. They have a DV advocate there, and they're well known in the Haitian community, another staple. And then lastly, the Haitian American Nurse Association of Florida. they're a Haitian-led group for Haitian nurses. And so if you do have a client that has medical needs, or if you are looking for resources when it does come to that respect, they are always a good organization to reach out to. And they themselves do a lot of education for the Haitian community when it comes to how to receive medical services and mental health issues in the community. And those are just a few of the organizations we want to highlight so you guys have their information.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And so somebody in the chat said, thank you for these great resources. They're awesome. And then also somebody did ask for a particular resource, and I don't think it was mentioned, on translators. Any sort of particular sources, organizations for providing Haitian Creole translation that you might be able to recommend.
I'm going to answer it, then I'm going to let Anne give any answer she may have. We use that for the legal services, the language line. And so when I use a language line, I speak Haitian Creole, so of course I don't use it for interpretation, but I have done it just to test out the interpreters. And because I've done that, I've been able to identify the translators that I'm most comfortable with. I can provide that, but I don't know of any other agency that specifically focuses on providing translation for Haitian legal translations.
Agreed. I do not know of an
Do you,
organization
Anne?
that is. No, I don't. I don't know of an organization that specifically just, has Haitian translators. I know of individuals that may be able to, but reaching out to any of those organizations, many of them do have certified interpreters that are able to help. If you do need, help, with your case, or in a court proceeding.
Awesome. And yeah, that makes me think, I'm pretty sure back in the day when I was a public defender, I'm pretty sure the interpreter that they used for all Haitian Creole clients was just a French speaking interpreter. And I'm like super, super ashamed knowing that now. Every single case we should have requested a Haitian interpreter and put that on the record for everything. Haitian Creole interpreter, excuse me. So one more question in the chat if you have time.
Yes.
This is interesting. It's almost like a housing question. So if you know it or not, but somebody asked about, they have a client who cannot qualify for Social Security SSI benefit because her husband owns property in Haiti. And I think this is a common issue going on. How can the client get proof of the current value of the property in Haiti to prove that the value has decreased? Or I think in generally, like, people are struggling to get documents from Haiti.
Yes. It's actually like something that I go through all the time, especially when I'm doing equitable distribution in my divorce cases, where when a client has a property in Haiti or the other party has a property in Haiti, I'm like, well, I need that information to put in the financial affidavit. And it is extremely difficult to get that information. So the first thing I do is figuring out what city in Haiti are we talking about, because the northern part of the Haiti is not really having the same issues as what's going on in Port-au-Prince. Although it may be, even though Port-au-Prince is having these issues, it would have been easier to get documents from Port-au-Prince. So you first have to identify where in Haiti are we talking about. Once you identify the location, if it's in Port-au-Prince, it's going to be very, very difficult, but you should reach out to, there are various Haitian real estate agents, especially in South Florida, that have some expertise in Haitian Haitian property or property in Haiti. And so that would be my first search. Look on Google for real estate agents, even if they're American real estate agents that are Haitian that sell property in Haiti. They're international property specialists. That may be their title. If it's in the northern part of Haiti, just so this is something that doesn't cost the client money, there may be local agents, and many times these local agents don't have a certification. They're just people that that sell property, but are able to get you something that can tell you the value of the property. Other than that, if that's not an option, sometimes I say, okay, well, do you have a family member that can take pictures, and then I can try to contact a real estate agent in any portion of Haiti to say, hey, this is the city where the property is located. These are the pictures. Can you please give me an appraisal? And many times I've been successful at doing it like that. So if none of those things work, you can contact like some attorneys, especially attorneys that have been barred in Haiti and are barred in the U.S. Like one of the resources that Anne suggested was the Haitian Lawyers Association. See if any of their attorneys have expertise in property law or have been barred in Haiti. They can give you what resources they have used to get these things done. Because a lot of times Haitian attorneys that have practiced in Haiti have lots of resources in Haiti to get stuff like this completed.
Awesome, Daphne. Thank you. That sounds amazing. And you just know, which is just so cool to have you right here on this webinar giving people that live advice. So, I want to say to you, Daphne and Anne, I've represented Haitian clients in my time as a public defender. I don't know how many, but quite a few, being from Miami. And I just have to say that I'm ashamed that I did not have this training at that time. And I am so happy that we as at Florida Legal Services spearheading this, and us were able to bring this to our legal aid folks so that they can move forward with the knowledge that they need to truly zealously represent their Haitian clients and our Haitian population that we serve.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Folks are saying thank you in the chat. Is there anything else that you want to know before I do the CLE code, or that you want to share before I do the CLE code?
Please reach out to Anna and I if you guys have questions, you guys want to walk through something. This is our passion. We are Haitian Creole speaking attorneys, and so if we can help in any way, and figure out how to help you communicate with the client, figure out anything, or potentially interpret something for you or translate something for you, we potentially can do that. So please reach out to us. Under our grant, we may be able to help you. So please reach out to us, or if you have any referrals for Haitian clients that are victims of domestic violence or crime victims. The crime doesn't have to be reported. They just have to identify as a victim. Please refer that person to us. We're more than happy to speak to you, or we're more than happy to accept your referrals as well.
Yeah, and just echoing that, thank you again for listening. We're so very passionate about the Haitian community, being Haitian American. We want to give back to the community, but we want to ensure that, you guys are equipped to do the same, because we can't do it all by ourselves. And so we're glad that you guys took this information. Please share it with your organizations and try to implement these different strategies so you can better assess this community.
Awesome. Well, Daphne and Anne, I think I said this earlier. I'm just honored to share a platform with you and honored to learn more about the work that you do, and the passion that you have for the Haitian community and to support the Haitian community and provide access and justice to them is evident. So just you two are awesome, and I am honored to work with you. So I'll move into the boring stuff. CLE code is 2403811, N as in Nancy. 1 general CLE credits. My email's up at the top of the chat. You're going to get an email from Zoom in 24 hours with a copy of this recording, that CLE information, and I believe a PDF of the PowerPoint for anyone that might have been, needing to look back at those resources. So thank you all for attending, and most importantly, Anne, Daphne, thank you. Thank you for all that you do and for teaching us. This was truly, truly a pleasure.
Thank
all
you.
Right, bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.